Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And crash. You son of
Oh, God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chaos. My name is Brad. That guy over there is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and we made it our mission to help you own it. Fat Man Zoom, what a day so far.
It's been great. It's been great. I'm excited about all the topics of conversation. First, let me shout out our starting five. Jeff Chocolate, Rudy Brown, Sean Ethier, RGFX, what's going on? And Tiger's Edge.
I know Jeff is super proud of himself just for getting that number one spot.
I know. Well, yeah, the number one spot's got to feel good. Got here over an hour early. I appreciate the commitment, my man. Yeah, man. Good day. Let me tell you something. Because I haven't really been looking at the market, but I haven't been looking at the market red or green.
Yeah.
I'm trying to really not get all caught up in it just because there's been fake outs and I just
it's been very choppy.
The mornings it's just like, okay, you can have a good morning and all of a sudden it's done. So
Yeah.
So I typically don't check until right before we get in here. I was pleasantly surprised.
That was nice.
Happy. Portfolio looking decent. But my day, instead of looking at the market, I got back into 5-iron, into that bug on your face.
So I got a bug on my face?
It's
Shit.
gone.
Oh.
You guys can't see this, but the past week, 2 weeks.
So fruit
There's
flies,
a little
man.
fruit fly
Damn.
flying around, and they are attracted to Brad.
It's got to be the plants, but yeah, maybe it's the hair product, I think, maybe.
So anyways, I golfed this morning. I got a 2.5 mile run in this morning. I don't know which one does it for me. Maybe it's both. But my days are better when I hit the practice range.
Yeah, mine are too.
It's just like I feel different.
Yep.
I feel good.
Yep.
And the market does better when I hit the greens. But no, I hit some good shots. I felt good. I just need to go. I was in a nice rhythm before I got nice. Now I just need to get back into 2 or 3 days in the range. So that was good. And then I come in here. Market's just crushing it. We're getting news left and right. We got a lot of stuff to go over.
Yeah, man. There's this. What is this guy's name? I can't remember his name. He just started on TikTok. He's like a golf guy. He's Latino, and he's hilarious. I
think I've seen him.
The mono something. But
Was-
anyway,
was he the guy that
he calls
the
everybody
video?
as maniacs and shit.
Was he the guy that did the video on showed the different tees like you hit from the tips?
Yeah,
hit
yeah,
from the
yeah.
pros?
Yeah.
They send that out in the Manual chat.
I just started following him yesterday, and I watched all of his videos already. He's only got 10 of them, but he's got 174,000 followers already, and
Yeah.
he's hilarious.
Yeah, it was definitely Park Champ sent it in the Manual chat. Are you still
Still green bubble.
still green bubble?
Yep.
Oh shoot, I can't. This the group chats are. If you get a good group chat, life is good. But I'm not a big fan of group chats. They actually drive me crazy. But if you catch it right, you can catch gold. And this one is absolutely gold. No, I don't have it. He definitely sent it, but
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Somebody put it in the chat. If you guys know what we're talking about, it's mono something. I have to look him up, but he is hilarious. And I did see one of his about hitting out of the sand.
Yeah.
And I realized that I've been hitting out of the sand all wrong this whole time.
Have you?
Yeah.
How have you
His
hit it?
club face was completely open.
Oh, yeah.
No. I've never. No.
What's your strategy for hitting out of the sand historically?
I typically try to hit about an inch before the ball under
Yeah.
it, but my face has always been closed. I've never had it wide open.
What's your stance?
Just normal. I mean,
Wow.
I'm still pretty self-taught. I've never really. I've
Yeah,
just
so,
always tried to figure it out myself.
So, if you're normally parallel with the ball, right?
Yeah.
So your feet are in a straight line. For a sand shot, you dig in. So your feet dig in.
Yeah, he's got the
Wide base.
the waggle, and
Yeah, I mean, the point is a wide base.
yeah.
Open. You got to have an open stand.
There
Do
he
you
is.
remember?
Manola Vega?
You remember Andres Galarraga?
No.
You don't remember the baseball player for the Colorado Rockies, Andres Galarraga?
Nope.
Wow. Very open stance. So very open stance. So if normally your feet like this, your feet literally should be like this.
Okay.
All right. And then your club face should be kind of like the same angle. So when I actually turn my club, it's almost like the heel of the club is where the face normally is.
Yeah.
And then you hit it normal.
Yeah.
That's actually how I shoot also my short chip shots around the green.
Oh,
I
really?
do the same thing. Yeah. Phil Mickelson video
Oh,
on
okay.
Instagram. He said that.
Yeah, my short chip shots are usually like with an 8-iron.
Have you ever
And
drawn the line in the
push
sand?
it on. I just push it on. Yeah.
It's technically illegal, but I think that's really helpful to do that as well, to hit behind the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Open face. Really open face.
I'm always learning something new.
Yeah. Well, good stuff.
So, anyways,
There you go, guys.
now we got done the golf lesson. The market has been on absolute fire, my man. And so, what is it that we are chatting about specifically today about the market in general?
Yeah, we got a few topics. So, our big topic today is going to be cryptocurrency. It's just crazy volatile. Specifically, Bitcoin's been sort of all over the map. But we're going to look at the altcoins. We're going to look at crypto. We're going to talk about our sentiments regarding that, because I think it's kind of in a position of like, which way is it going to go, and what are we going to do about it? So that's going to be the really big topic. We're going to save that to the end. We got a few other topics, some randoms, but I want to start with NVIDIA. How many people got in the house, Brad?
We got 92 people, 95 people live watching us concurrently. So appreciate you guys hanging out. We got 17 likes, so let's get those up. I just had to laugh real quick. So Sean said, I rushed out of the shower. I thought I was missing some deep insight into stocks and crypto.
No, you got golf.
But what's up with NVIDIA? Because I know we talked about it last night, but what else you got?
So NVIDIA was one of my stocks that I brought to the table yesterday. And for those of you guys who didn't see it, we already released the clip, right?
Not the NVIDIA clip, no.
Or no, the top 10. Or we didn't do it. No, sorry, my fault. So those of you who watched Stock Watch Sunday yesterday, go back and watch it. We switched up a little bit. We put 10 beaten down tech stocks that we like. NVIDIA was one of mine. Wasn't necessarily beat down, but I forgot to bring up the main reason why I brought it on the list. Has earnings tomorrow. Excited about earnings. But really, the 4-to-1 stock split that was announced at the end of the week last week. I'm excited about that. So let me just set the stage. NVIDIA announced 4-to-1 stock split for shareholders on record June 20th. And then it'll process July 20th, 21st. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just have to be holding on to it June 20th, and you'll get the 4-to-1 split, which will bring it to around, currently it'll be around 150, a little over 150 a share. That's exciting news. And so I wanted to talk about it because the timing is interesting, because if you look at the technicals, Brad, it could potentially be at all-time highs before their earnings after hours on Wednesday. And so tech, it makes it a little bit scary. So I want to know what your strategy would be as far as that's concerned going into earnings. And then does the stock split change? So I kind of want to tackle all of that stuff. Does it change your strategy as far as would you get in or out, and how would you play the stock split? Because I have some thoughts about it. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that when we look at just the semis in general, they've been beaten down so much. And I actually mentioned this last night. I didn't expect it was going to happen the very next day.
Yeah.
But the semis, I thought that the price had been basically, or the shortage had been priced in up to this point. I mean, we saw this with AMD. They came out with their buyback, their $4 billion buyback last week, which we talked about last night as well. You know, but I think it's important to go back to kind of our roots. And we talk about how, you know, getting into something, you buy something before earnings, you're basically taking a gamble. Now, we try to make as educated guesses as we can when it comes to earnings. And sometimes it's almost like a no-brainer. Other times it's kind of like, I don't know, especially when it runs up into earnings like this. And so when it runs up into earnings like this, typically you can see more or less of like a sell the news type of situation. And so I think that could potentially be what's in store for NVIDIA. Yeah. But then you also have this reverse split coming up, or this forward split coming up. So I think that my plan of action, like if I wasn't in NVIDIA, my plan of action would probably be not to chase.
Yep.
I probably would wait till after earnings. And if that sell the news situation does arise, then maybe it would give me an opportunity to get into some NVIDIA, because we probably will see another run up into the split like we saw with Tesla, Apple, that sort of thing. It doesn't change the value of the stock any. You're not getting any kind of crazy deal, but people love splits. So I think this is a great thing for NVIDIA in general. And I think also that you may have an opportunity after earnings, because I would be surprised if this just does nothing but go straight up for the next month, essentially.
That's a fair point. The question I'm wondering is, what was the reason to announce a stock split the week before earnings rather than wait until earnings?
Yeah, I don't know. I really have no idea. I wish I had an answer to that, but I don't.
But I think it's a rhetorical question. I don't think, I'm not seeking an answer, but I think that's a question that one would ask themselves. And my thought would be, if I was going to announce it before, it's potentially because I'm worried that other things are going to overshadow that news. So I want to release it separately.
Oh, so you're thinking that maybe the earnings might not be as good?
Correct.
Oh,
yeah.
That's an interesting theory.
So like you run up,
Yeah.
not that good, whatever, and then you get the run back up. So that's just speculation. I have no basis behind that, but like it could potentially get lost if they had a poor earnings. And because of the shortage, there's a lot going for going against NVIDIA. As far as like, they still haven't finished the ARM acquisition. They're facing a little bit of regulatory challenges there.
That has been a thorn in their side.
They also, they are near at all-time highs when tech is not.
Yeah.
The semiconductor shortage is something that's out of their control, that like they're sort of at the whim of how that looks, and whether it affects them or not, just the announcement of the shortage and continued, that's just going to push them down.
Yep.
So all those things, it doesn't worry me long term, but like leads me believe I'd be a little bit hesitant to get in before earnings. But like to your point, I would get in after.
Yeah.
If I miss the run, that's okay, because I will get in after the split. Now I got to wait, but my play would be in a perfect scenario, I buy it on Thursday, I hold it, and I would sell it before the split.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we've seen.
And then I would buy it again.
That's what we've seen after, some of the other splits that we've seen. One thing that I would, it's tough because we saw Apple basically get sold. It sold off after the split took place, and it's more or less been flat since then. We've seen a little bit of a run up, but then it fell back on its face, and it's been flat. You got Tesla that it did go through that split. Then it went nuts again. It went up about 100% plus. Now it's come back as well. I'd be curious to see what the price action looks like on NVIDIA. Like, is it going to have the same type of drama surrounded around it? Or is this like another good thing where we see this go up? Or does it just get boring and go sideways? And so that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, are we going to see kind of like a repeat of Apple and Tesla, and maybe is that the reason why Amazon just hasn't even done it?
Yeah, potentially. Post split though, Tesla is still higher than post split, right?
Not by much, but yes.
Wasn't post split? Was it over 2,000 leading the split?
No, it was not. It was like around 17, or maybe it was.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like 450 post split or something.
Yeah, I think it was around 450, 500.
So it's up considerably post split still. I mean, it's for just a stock that you invest in. It did sell off.
Yeah.
And so pull it up just so we know for sure.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say. Apple's different. Apple's performed many splits, and I believe it was September.
Apple's done a ton of them.
And also, Apple's in a different sort of life cycle than NVIDIA and even Tesla, where like Tesla didn't have a lot on the horizon. I don't want to say that, but I think they're different. And I think NVIDIA just has so much opportunity outside of with blockchain and Ethereum, and that's probably what I'm most excited about, because I think they're going to lead the charge in that space. And we talked about this on Stockwatch Sunday. AMD's going one direction, and NVIDIA's going in a different direction. And I feel like, not saying AMD's not going to do blockchain, but NVIDIA seems like they're really going all in on Ethereum and more altcoins. And so I'm going to be interested to see what happens with blockchain and NVIDIA moving forward. And that provides promise for me. I think there's still a huge growth story for them. So I believe there'll be a sell-off. I believe we'll see potentially, I'd like to get in below 150 post-split. Because if it goes down there, I think it would be a buy for me. And then the last thing I'll say is a lot of speculation surrounding the reason why they're doing this split is to get them into Dow.
Yeah.
And if that becomes a real thing, that's huge because as it stands right now, the price, it would be the largest weighted holding in the Dow. Right now it's United Health.
Wow.
So they're saying that's probably why, which is what Apple did a few years ago.
Right.
Not this past split, but the split before, I believe. They did the split to get into the Dow, and they did get into the Dow. NVIDIA makes a lot of sense in the Dow.
That would make a lot of sense as well. I mean, we talk about stocks that you just kind of buy and hold forever. Apple's always on that list, but we say that about NVIDIA too.
Yeah.
I did want to just go, backtrack a little bit. Yeah, so Tesla was right around, I think it was 2,400 before it split. We look at the chart. This is kind of where it was at. I just pulled up the weekly, and then it actually fell down. Once it went through the split, fell down to the low 300s, and then we know what it did after that. And now
You said
it's
2,400. What was it?
it was at 2,400 pre-split,
Is that right?
and then so
It was
like
a 5-to-1 split, right?
5-to-1, and then
That would have been $900.
the week of the split was 496, right around 496. So if you multiply that by 5, that's around 2,500.
Gotcha. Okay, got it.
So yeah, and then it obviously went crazy and nuts, and now it's pulled back. But yeah, we're still up from their split for sure. Not up on the year, but up from their split.
You got it. Okay, cool. So, I mean, it's still, obviously, they had some other issues going up or that brought it down, but
Yeah.
Tesla's in a much different situation.
It's much
I
more
think.
speculative, right? I mean, especially when you compare it to something like NVIDIA.
And they had all of their, I mean, they were maxed out, and
Yeah.
their industry is much more challenging. They're considered automotive, whether we say it is or not. That's
Right.
kind of how they get lumped, and that is probably the biggest challenge surrounding Tesla is that they're looked at as what they probably aren't.
Figuring out what the hell they actually are.
Yeah, so that's exciting, guys. NVIDIA's one. It's Fat Man Zoom special, one we love, but there's a lot of things in the pipeline to consider for NVIDIA, so definitely check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll definitely keep you updated on that, and we'll be watching the earnings on Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time.
We'll be here live to
checking it
give you that reaction.
Next topic. You brought this one to the table, Norwegian cruise liners. What's going on with Norwegian and cruise liners in general?
Yeah, so Norwegian actually came out and said that they are set to sail in August. So they actually were in talks with the CDC. Basically wanted to try to make sure that they had everything ready to go to start sailing, and so now they have. They plan to start sailing from Seattle at the beginning of August 7th. And, the cruise lines right now are reacting to that as a whole, and I think that this is obviously great news. I'm sure we'll hear something from Carnival. I'm sure we'll hear a response from Royal Caribbean as well. But as we look at this, I think that this just goes to show that we are going to be reopening. It's still going to be a little bit more of a process. I was actually thinking that maybe we'd see something from them in June, but August is still good. I mean, it's still close enough. My only issue with this was Norwegian's peak time is the summertime from June to mid-September. That's when they really are peak business. But I think maybe it doesn't even matter because the demand is so pent up. We actually had this discussion this time last year because we thought that perhaps the cruise lines were going to open up in September, and obviously that didn't happen. September of last year, and that didn't happen. And so I think with Norwegian, though, it's awesome. Right now, it's up 5%. But I wanted to know what your thoughts were on this. Do you think Norwegian is going to be one to hold on to, or do you like any others that are better, and why?
Yeah, so I was trying to see where Royal Caribbean's at. So Royal Caribbean is one that I hold in the long-term portfolio.
Yeah.
And I've talked about wanting to be ready for this moment. So I've been in it. I got it at $80. But, I think Norwegian specifically, so it's up almost 4% today. So I think you saw Norwegian was up 5%, so
Yeah.
right around the same area.
Yep.
If Norwegian's the one you like, go for it. I think we ranked these out a while ago. We had
did.
Royal Caribbean number 1, and I think we had
Norwegian number 2.
Norwegian number 2 and Carnival at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I think that Davy Day Trader has pushed a lot of people towards Norwegian, so I think that's why it's a little bit more of a meme in general. But I'm okay with either one. I think either one's a buy. To be honest, I think any of the cruise liners are a buy. I just don't want to be in all of them for the earnings.
Yeah.
And so
God, I know.
that's the one thing where it's a good time to get whichever one you believe in. I believe in Royal Caribbean. I'm hanging on. I might actually add to it when their news comes out. Not sure the impact because it's obviously playing off this news, but I think there's sort of like these steps that I see. One is official announcement that they're going to reopen. Second is showing demand. So this is just through a PR statement.
Yep.
Demand's back. We're seeing strong demand, excitement. I think that's going to get it to like the second phase of its movement. And I think then you're going to go into earnings. And I think earnings are going to be challenging for every one of the cruise liners. It's going to be hard for me to stay in this thing.
Yeah, so yesterday we heard news that COVID cases as of yesterday were around just 12,000 and some change.
Yeah.
The lowest we've seen since the pandemic started. And so we haven't seen these numbers since March of last year. I think that the economy could fully reopen end of June. We're on that trajectory. If you can compare, I know Israel's such a small sample size, but they're the ones that have done it the best so far. And we're kind of on that same trajectory. So if you kind of plan it out, that's kind of where we're headed. We could very easily see lower than 10,000 by the end of the week. And I mean, I think this morning I saw news about 9 states are reporting 70% of folks have vaccines, at least the first shot. So this is something that I think could come hard and fast. So I worry for people that are maybe trying to chase this stuff. But to your point, like you were saying, I think being in as early as you possibly can is probably going to be the better bet. And I think that this is still going to be a bumpy road. So don't feel like you have to chase today. I think that there's still going to be some speed bumps and hang-ups, so I wouldn't chase this, but I think that they do go higher. We look at the chart too, man, and there's still plenty of upside. You look at pre-COVID levels, there's still plenty of upside. This is Carnival. Now, obviously, Carnival isn't one of our favorite ones just because of the amount of convertible debt that they have. It actually amounts to more than what their market cap is, which is unbelievable. But you look
crazy.
at something like Royal Caribbean, they all have debt, but it's not nearly as bad as like a Carnival, and Norwegian comes in second as far as that's concerned. Yeah. Now, Royal Caribbean is priced higher from a dollar perspective, but you can see the upside's pretty much the same. But in the organization to which Royal Caribbean has been trading is something that I really like. It's been holding up above this $80 mark really, really well. So, yeah, I think if I was going to choose one of any of them, it would be Royal Caribbean for me, too.
Presents a great asymmetrical trade opportunity. It looks like they all do. Can I see the Norwegian real quick?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's consolidating the same way. Yeah, so like they're presenting good asymmetrical trade opportunities. Probably Royal Caribbean and Carnival a little bit better than Norwegian, but that still looks nice. Like I'm fine with all of them.
Yeah.
And I'll say specifically, if you go back to Royal Caribbean, I think not only does it present a great asymmetrical trade opportunity, if it breaks above that 200-day moving average, that sucker could be on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not out of the possibility that doesn't happen soon. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I feel really optimistic on it from a short-term perspective.
Yeah.
Moving on. We just added this right like 2 minutes before we went live.
Yeah.
Amazon made a huge announcement, it's an update to an announcement they already had, which is they're nearing a deal to buy MGM Studios for $9 billion, which will be their largest acquisition of record since Whole Foods, which I believe they bought for almost $14 billion. This is you know what? I'm not even going to say what I think about it. Clearly, they're making a move for Prime Video. They're taking on Disney and Netflix.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about this acquisition as it pertains to the stock? You know, we were already bullish on Amazon. Do you think this is a smart move? Do you like the move? And do you think they have a true chance of competing with the likes of Amazon or Netflix and Disney?
I think they're definitely trying. When we looked at Amazon and their deal that they made with the NFL, they're going to be airing, Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, great move.
That was a huge thing, and I kind of theorized, we still have yet to see that come to fruition, but I theorized about them actually putting that on Twitch as well, because they also own Twitch. So I think that that's definitely a good move. This MGM thing, I mean, I think that there's definitely benefits for Amazon, but to me, this is more or less just the market consolidating. And if Amazon didn't pick them up, somebody else would have, because MGM was pretty much going by the wayside anyway. And so this is just kind of like a small fish that they just ended up scooping up. I don't think it's anything that's going to be like earth-shattering for them. To me, I think as far as streaming goes, it's going to be sports that Amazon, I think, probably ramps up, and probably they start to take a little bit more market share on that front than anything.
I think that's a good point you make, and I would prefer that move. Like, let's take the angle of the sports angle, live sports angle, buy something like Fubo TV, right? This actually concerns me a little bit from their streaming content.
Yeah.
And I say that because you're paying $9 billion for MGM Studios, and that's fine. But what does that say about your conviction in your homegrown content?
Right.
Which is pretty good. But what is it? Why wouldn't you spend $9 billion? Now, they have a boatload of cash, so $9 billion in the grand scheme of things, to them, it sounds crazy, but it is
right.
It's worth just taking a flyer.
Exactly.
But you remember when Netflix were paying these? They still are. They're paying these comedians absurd amounts of money.
Oh my God, who was it that got the $100 million deal?
Chappelle.
Yeah.
So like, they're paying tons of money out. I would put my money towards that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Like. Doing that, doing like live, now that comedy's open back up, live stand-up stuff. I like the streaming, the sports angle, but I think the winner of that whole race is going to be original content, and Netflix does a good job of it. I don't know how excited people are going to get promoting Amazon. Doesn't matter, money's money, but Netflix is like the original content king, or I don't want to say that. They're known for their original content. But Disney is the original content king.
Yeah.
Like, they've done it since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a legitimate shot of unseating Netflix. I don't think Prime has that shot, but they can very well carve themselves a space in there, and I think they can do well. But I agree with you. I'm not sure this MGM Studios really amounts to much.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't want to say it's a nothing burger, but I think it's just probably not going to move the needle enough for people to get excited about it.
I think it's just something to show your shareholders, like, hey, we're active, we're trying to make moves. They have the Bond series in MGM Studios, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think it's a better move on MGM's part.
Probably,
clearing the books.
Yep.
Right? We talked about their online betting platform, which is outperforming expectations. And if you look at all the brick and mortars that move to creating their homegrown, let's take out Penn, but if you look at the Vegas staples,
yeah,
I think they're the best.
Right.
And so they're doing a really great job there. I prefer trimming the fat than adding to it. AT&T added to it, got themselves in trouble. A lot of companies just buy. I don't know. I like the strategic acquisitions. I'm 50-50 on this.
Yeah.
Coin flip.
Okay. Can we just talk for we have some breaking news here. I feel like. So Dogecoin just had like a major boner candle right now. And I guess this is a good segue into what we're talking about with crypto. But Elon Musk just came out and tweeted that if you'd like to help develop Doge, please submit ideas on GitHub and Reddit. Provided a link. He also said 15 minutes ago, spoke with North American Bitcoin miners. They committed to publish current and planned renewable energy usage and to ask miners to do so, potentially promising. So crypto is now obviously reacting. Dogecoin is now up 16%. And let's take a look at Bitcoin as well. This is why I love doing live streams. Bitcoin is now up 12%. Another boner candle from them as well.
About to break 40K.
Yeah. Wrong ETH. Damn it. Damn you. Weeble. All right. And now Ethereum's up 25% after that news as well. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
This is what Elon does to this space. And this is kind of like what I don't like about it.
I got to say, we talked about this, and this is why what he did was great.
Yeah.
He's not playing.
He's not playing.
He
Correct.
literally, we talked about,
Yeah.
my issue was the rate of energy usage, and how else are you going to get people to address the issue if somebody doesn't stand up for it? So everybody that got upset about it, 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
already, people are addressing the issue. That's the shit that Elon can get done. You may not like the means by which he does it, but nobody else could have had them moving like that.
Bro, as much as I am not a fan of how it moves, the entire crypto market moves off of an Elon tweet.
Yeah.
You bring up some valid points, and I will say this: if I'm going to put my trust in anybody as far as this type of market's concerned to get shit done, especially when it comes to mining this stuff and doing it, in a way that it's not going to harm the environment, and to actually bring this into a legitimate vehicle for currency, it's going to be somebody who is planning on putting people on the moon. And this guy has been doing this shit for God knows how long at this point. And so I think if you're going to put your faith in anybody, it's got to be this guy. And I don't care how many old heads are out there that are going to roll their eyes at this, but who else are you going to put in charge of this that you have that kind of confidence in? And I don't think there's anybody other than Elon Musk that could do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I liken it back to, before corporate social responsibility came into play, and you had these plants that were dumping waste into water sources and killing fish and harming land and soil and plants, and the regulators had to step in. And there's a name for it. I wish I remember, but the premise behind it is that if there's no ownership and it's just up to everybody to take care of it without oversight, nobody's going to take care of it. There's actually a sort of psychological term for it, or something like a sociological term for it. And so this is the same idea. Whether you think it's decentralized or not, I could make an argument that it isn't as decentralized as we make it. But if you do believe that as your bull case, you got to understand that the downside to decentralization and the downside to anonymity of Bitcoin and really lack of oversight is that nobody is going to do the socially responsible thing. It's just how it works as humans.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the point I was making, was what Elon was saying made a lot of sense. It's insane. Look at the numbers, and in 3 months, the rate of growth. Well, fast forward that to a year or 2 years, nobody's going to step in and say, hey guys, maybe we should spend more resources to lower the energy, which is going to cost time, energy, whatever, money. Nobody's going to do that. But if you get Elon, who's your biggest advocate, who makes markets move, and who other publicly traded companies look after, then if he does it, you're going to listen to him.
Yeah.
And bro, nobody can move them faster. And to do it formally through the government, you know how long the government takes. Nobody could have moved them faster than that. It's better for Bitcoin, and it's better for Tesla.
100%. And I think it just, I go back to find me somebody else who's going to be able to do it better. And there just isn't who's going to be able to bring this to the forefront. I mean, I just don't see anybody else being able to do that. And, we have Portnoy actually kind of trying to make a joke out of it and trying to see if he can influence it, and hasn't made a dent into it. And you have the Anthony Pomplianos and all those other guys, but nobody makes the entire market move like Elon has. And in and of it's
one other guy who does.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, and I will back this up a little bit. I'll backpedal a little bit here, because the government could make this move.
Yeah.
True. So that the guy.
Trump.
Okay, yeah. Well, Biden at this point, but either way, I think as far as bringing it to a positive light and bringing it into an actual forefront, where people are more accepting of it. I mean, I don't know if you can put somebody else in charge as far as that's concerned to be able to get get this in front of people's faces
Yeah.
and actually accept it.
Yeah, Trump was the only one that could move the markets in the same way. Our government can,
Yeah.
but Trump could move it like nobody else.
Oh, the tariff, the trade war stuff back in the day was like wild.
Both ways.
Yeah.
you know. But the difference is Trump was good for short term.
Yeah.
Elon is, an entire asset class. You're talking about crypto. He can move equities and like the publicly traded companies. Like he can move Tesla and all the other stuff, which I guess would be illegal. But he has power to move any market.
Yeah.
But like he's moving the entire asset class.
Yes.
Right. And so
All of crypto.
that is crazy to think, which isn't even his wheelhouse. But anyways, I think it's great the way it's playing out. I think it's great they're addressing this. Looks like everything's moving in general. Is Dogecoin a buy for you yet?
I think it's going to have to be. I think I'm going to actually buy Doge.
What?
I think I'm going to.
Oh my God, who the hell?
What? That was like a double.
I know I did that by accident, but it worked out.
There we go.
Doge is a buy. You heard it here first. B. Smith has reversed course. It is time to buy.
If there was anybody else that was behind this, then I would say no. But how do you bet against Elon Musk at this point?
I agree.
I mean,
Now, the
as
next-
crazy and as dumb as shit as this sounds, like what I think, I don't know. I've been to this point to where it's like, I'm definitely not going to go against it, but do I go for it? And so I'm just kind of like, if there was one cryptocurrency I would buy, it would be Ethereum. If there was a second cryptocurrency that I would buy, it probably would be Doge at this point.
So
Elon's dead serious about this shit.
I would say I've probably been a little bit more, I don't want to say bullish because that's not the right word for Doge, but I've let up on Doge a little bit more since
Yeah.
I found out about the Mavericks. I think
I haven't shit on
Athletics.
in the Athletics. I haven't shit on it nearly as much as I
So
did.
I wouldn't have any issue with
Kidding.
somebody buying it. It wasn't yet a buy for me, but where it's at now and what's going on, I don't think this Tesla thing is a joke.
No, I don't either.
So I would agree. It would be a buy. I won't buy it, but I'm still in Ethereum, and I want to talk a little bit about Ethereum and Bitcoin as we wrap up. But the first thing I will say, since you mentioned other things you'd be interested in, I am looking at Cosmos. Still haven't finalized my decision on that. Ethereum's still my number one. I would be tempted to buy XRP as a spec, extremely spec, and because it has the lowest energy usage.
I was going to say because the environmental.
As a
Friendly
flyer
part.
that maybe Tesla considers that. So that's kind of where I stand as crypto. But here's my question to you as we sort of bring things to a close. Somebody said, I forget who wrote it. Somebody here kind of made a joke about the fact that it was, Levindo Gabriel Tacheto Neto. What's up, my man? He said 5 days ago, what the fuck is going on with Bitcoin? Will there be a stock market crash? Was our title. Yes. Today, where should you buy Bitcoin and other altcoins is a fair comment to make.
Yeah.
And this is a question that's happening. It's like Bitcoin has went the past less than a week. It's been crazy.
Nuts. Absolutely
Not
nuts.
even just Bitcoin, but like pretty much all crypto. We're down this morning, or as of yesterday, it was down like 1,800, 1,900, back
Yeah.
under 2,000. And then now it's right back up 2,500, 2,600. And it's like trying to figure out which way it wants to go. Is this going to just get right back on track? Or is this signs to come that this is just wanting to go down and move back down?
So Tom Lee brought up a really good point today. If you guys don't know who Tom Lee is, the co-founder of Fundstrat, very well known. Usually calls shit like the guy's insane, but he made an interesting statement about how Bitcoin, and he was just talking about Bitcoin specifically, but I think you could use this for all cryptocurrency, especially some of the bigger ones, that it's going to continue to be hyper volatile. But he actually ended up saying that he sees it still hitting 100K by the end of the year. And as volatile as this has been,
Yeah.
can you discount that? You can't. And so I think that there's definitely, a case in which we could see 100K out of Bitcoin and Ethereum could hit 10K. And some of these other analysts that are buying into this idea that we could see this, I think is very much there. I still think it's a gamble. I still think that it's a gamble for you to own this, and I would not have more than 10% of my portfolio if it were me wrapped up in the crypto. But I'm not going to sit here and say that that Bitcoin will not hit 100K, because I think it's certainly possible.
Bitcoin and Ethereum are pretty much. Well, no. Sorry, I take that back. Bitcoin is closer to 100K than Ethereum is to 10K.
Yes.
So, Bitcoin's only 150% away from that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, whereas Ethereum's 300% away.
Yeah.
Now, Bitcoin also costs a lot. So, you got to factor that in the equation, but we know crypto can move 150%. That's not crazy to think.
In a day, if
Yeah.
it wants to.
Yeah.
Like literally, I mean, that's why like the titles to our streams over the last week have been this hilarious, because it's just like you just don't know. It's just wild. So here's what I would do. The title says, "Where should you buy Bitcoin and other altcoins?" I think you just have to own it if you really want it, and then if you see opportunities to buy the dips, then do that. But again, like I said, if it were me, I would not go crazy on this, and I probably wouldn't own more than 10% of my portfolio or of my assets to this. Now, other people will say, well, 90% of it, we've talked about Anthony Pompliano, 90% of all of his assets are in Bitcoin, which is nuts. I think that's quite insane. But I think, if you want some exposure to it, then you just kind of add to it whenever it dips. Definitely wouldn't be chasing boners on this thing.
That was well said, my friend.
What you got?
I think that's it, man.
Oh, I thought you were about ready to say something else.
Well, I got something to say, but it's just to close it out. This is from my man, William Williams. You got anything else?
No.
Well, we should first remind you guys that we're going to be live every
Tomorrow.
day this week, except for a Friday. So we'll be live tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. But for my man, William Williams, in the famous words of the Jamaican bobsled team, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up, it's bobsled time. Cool runnings.
All right.
That's what your comment made me think of, bro.
Hey, man, what you smoking?
I got you, Sean.
I'm not smoking. I'm breathing.
What's the one where he's in the mirror?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a badass mama who don't take no shit off of nobody. I gotta get that line back.
Oh, my God. If you have not seen Cool Runnings, you have got to watch
Oh,
it.
one of the greatest Disney movies ever.
Yeah.
People forget that's a Disney movie.
I know. All right, so that's going to do it for us, guys. Let us know what you guys think in the comments about the crypto stuff, about NVIDIA, about the cruise lines. We talked about so much stuff today. The markets are absolutely on fire. We kind of saw this coming, though, as well. Also, hit that join button if you guys are not part of the Chaos Crew. You see the studio behind us. Everybody in the crew paid for this, and we couldn't thank them enough. And so if you guys want to continue to help support us, support the channel, and everything you see behind us, then hit that join button. You get, in return, a watch list from us. We get put out 5 stocks before the market opens up, and we absolutely crush it. I would venture to say, Fat Man Zoom. I might be biased, but I think we do. And you get access to trade alerts. Anytime that I make a trade, you get alerted in our Discord group. You get access to all that stuff. So if you guys want to be part of the crew, hit that join button. We'd love to have you guys as part of that community. That's going to do it for me, Fat Man Zoom.
I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who don't take no crap off of nobody. Thanks, Jeff Chow. You the man. Appreciate you. Bye.
See you guys. We're going to be out.
I quit this bitch.